Our stories begin right here, and we never write them alone. Sometimes we write them with someone who puts our story first. Other times with someone who puts their own story first. There'll be pages we love to read again and again, and some we'll barely remember. Sometimes we feel like the hero of our story, and other times, not. There are stories of dreamers, stories of creators, stories of strivers, stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. That's why we invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters.
I started my hustling journey early 1990s, selling second-hand shoes. Then I shifted to selling yarn, then switched to uniform work, which I'm currently doing now. My name is John Joroge, Director of Kitale Wool Shop. We have a shop in Line Moja, Kitale Town, and we recently have a factory along Kitale Eldoret Road. We process various types of clothing, that is textile. We do the pullovers, we do all sorts of uniforms. Sasa wakati tumeanza factory, tukaongeza watu wafanyikazi, we had to buy few machines. So the challenge started there because, you know, with the factory, you have to source for the raw materials. At the same time, you are paying the workers. Things became harder when COVID struck. I had to look for alternatives. I thought a lot. A friend of mine who told me Absa are giving even loans without security. So I went and opened an account with Absa in 2017. And yes, they are the ones that who have saved me up to now, because, you know, paying workers at the same time you're paying electricity, it's not easy. So these days I don't have that hassle of thinking a lot, the end month is here. I don't have money because they have already sorted me with a good amount in the overdraft. I know Absa will continue journeying with me because we are planning to add more machines so that we create more employment, and I've already talked to them, and I know they will help me realize my dream fully. Working with Absa will make me see through all my plans.
Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
My name is Josephine Gichana. I'm a business woman. Nafanya business yangu Kisii. Duka yangu inaitwa Jacho Farm Machinery na iko along Kisii Kisumu Highway. Sana sana mimi ni muuzaji wa posho mills na nauza sugarcane crusher, chaff cutter na choppers. Hii duka nilianza kitambo tukiwa na mzee wangu, kafanya vizuri, kaendelea vizuri, lakini wakati mzee akafika akawa mgonjwa for the whole year, sasa ikawa business imerudi chini kabisa. Nikabaki hata na engine moja. Sasa from there kapatana na watu wa bank from Absa Bank, wakakuja kwa sababu walikuwa wanajua mzee na alikuwa na account kwa hiyo bank, wakanichukua wakanipatia loan unsecured 500,000. Hii nyumba ilikuwa na deni, tulikuwa na arrears mpaka hospitali, nikalipalipa, at least nikaanza from there. Na hiyo loan imenisaidia sana. Kitambo nilikuwa nafikiria ukichukua loan itakusaidia, but nimekuja kujua maana ya kuchukua loan. Inaweza kukutoa mahali at least ufike pahali. Bora tu unaimanage vizuri. Kwa marafiki zangu, majirani na wale ambao hawajajiunga na Absa Bank, na waomba mjiunge na Absa Bank kwa sababu nimewajua, najua ni bank mzuri, imenisaidia kwa sababu nilianza na mashine moja na saizi naona nimeendelea. Absa Bank nawashukuru sana, mlinisaidia na muendelee kufanya hivyo hivyo kwa wengine.
Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope we are all safe and sound despite the ongoings in the country with the floodings. It's my prayer that we are all safe, that we've tuned in here. Our families are safe. That's my prayer. Thank you for joining once again. My name is Helen Makandi. I serve at Absa Bank as the manager business club, and what we really do in business club is that we support our SME customers not only on their financial solutions but also scaling their businesses under our non-financial solutions. And when I talk about financial solutions, it's something like what we are hosting today, the webinars, the capacity building, the benchmarking and networking trips that we always organize every year. So feel welcome and ready for this session today. So this is a continuation of the last session that we had last week, as we had said that it is a three-part series which we are calling SME Digital Transformation Webinars. So this is part 2 of that, and we'll have our last session next week. This is a partnership being supported by World International and Meta Inc., formerly Facebook. So today our topic that we'll be tackling will be connecting with your customers online. Last week, to recap, we went through the training on how do you create your presence on Facebook, how do you create your presence on Instagram, and today we'll also be diving in on how you can have your business presence on the WhatsApp for business. So I will not dive too much into what we are going to do because we have our speaker, our trainer for the day. So allow me to recognize Wild International as our partners, and I will allow Robert Njenga, the marketing and partnership head, just to give a few remarks on what Wild is doing to support the SME ecosystem in the country. So Robert is a marketing professional with over 10 years of experience in the marketing space, business development, and stakeholder management. He has a wealth of experience in marketing, having worked in technology, creative, and FMCG sectors in areas such as marketing strategy formulation, execution, business development, and digital marketing. Currently, he leads a team of 3 at World that focuses on building strategic partnerships and optimizing internal marketing initiative with the aim of creating a meaningful impact in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Robert, karibu sana. Just tell us what else is Wealth doing to support our SMEs ecosystem. Welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Helen, for that wonderful introduction. On behalf of World International, let me just take this opportunity to welcome all the participants to this digital skills training. As you have heard, my name is Robert Njenga, and at World International, I serve as the head of marketing and partnerships. Just a brief background of what World International does, and more importantly, why we do it, is that World International is a business consulting firm that specializes in the development and execution of strategy services. So we've been developing strategies for SMEs of all sizes and across all sectors for the last 20 years. In fact, this year we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. So if you follow us on social media, look out for that because we'll be having quite the celebration with our partners, Absa and perhaps even Strathmore. We are members of an organization called Sandbox, that is spelled SNDBX, SNDBX again, which is a collection of over 35 experts all geared towards providing support towards entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have a challenge, say in marketing, legal, accounting, you name it, if you walk into the Sandbox today, you'll find an expert who's ready and willing to support you. At the Sandbox, Wild International is the strategy expert. So if you're looking to have, develop a strategy that will actually help your business grow, if you walk into the Sandbox, Wild is the one who's going to handle that for you. Above and beyond that, we do run a lot of entrepreneurship support programs in partnership with various development partners. So for example, this program, as you have heard from Helen, which is being sponsored by Meta, we've been doing this program for actually 6 years now. And we've been doing it and have successfully trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs such as yourselves during that 6-year period. We also have another program that we are running with an organization called Brighter Monday in partnership with USAID and E-Trade Alliance. And that it's called the eBiz kwa Vijana project, and that is geared towards providing support to the youth who are trying, to figure out how to use various e-commerce platforms like GG, Kilimall, and all. We also have another program that is geared towards providing support towards agri-SMEs that we are running in partnership with Aseli Africa, and that one is running across the entire East African region. We also have another program that we're running with an organization called the World Resource Institute that is geared towards providing support to organizations that are restoring our great landscapes. So if you're restoring the Great Rift Valley, or if you have a business that is involved in any form of this restoration for the Great Rift Valley, that program is there to support you. Finally, we have another program that we're running with Yunus Social Business that is geared towards providing support to businesses that have a social impact. Above and beyond that, we have a strong component of business coaching. We are one of the few organizations that pride ourselves in our ability to work with entrepreneurs through the entrepreneurship journey as they're growing. So if we undertake a strategy for you, or if we develop a strategy for you, or if you attend one of our programs, we'll allocate you with a business coach who's essentially your accountability partner, ensuring that all the strategic initiatives that you have sort of formed or developed, you're able to follow through with them. We also have a strong component of access to finance, where we work with various financial partners to try and match our entrepreneurs with the right financial solutions. So we do a lot of work with entrepreneurs. We're very, very passionate about working with entrepreneurs. And more importantly, we're very, very happy to be partnering with Absa, an organization that is also equally as passionate about seeing SMEs grow. So I think with that, let me hand it over back to Helen. Wishing all the participants here all the best. We do hope that this training will make your business grow. Back to you, Helen.
Thank you, Edwin, for that elaborate focus on what it really does. We really appreciate this partnership that we've done with you close to now the 4th year this year. And with us again here, we have another one of our partners who we are also running programs with them. As a bank, we really are strong with partnership because we know our strength is on the financial sector, but we also need to support you with non-financial programs. And that's why we focus on bringing partners together, such as Wild. And you can see Edwin Obonyo is here. Edwin is from Strathmore University. We are running a program that I introduced last week called COMA, which is an SME growth program. So Edwin is the lead person at the Center for Investment within Strathmore University, and is the person really that we are working with, supporting entrepreneurs with this SME growth program called COMA. So I will give you, Edwin, a few minutes just to elaborate on what this come about. How is it supporting entrepreneurs just to grow their businesses and take them to the next level? Karibu sana, Edwin. Edwin, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Edwin. I'm from Strathmore University, just has been introduced. I'm the lead of Strathmore Center of Value Investing. And what we do with Strathmore Value Investing is twofold. So the first part is we do the training of SMEs to help them grow. And that's the collaboration we have with Absa Bank. And then the second part is we do transaction advisory for companies that want to merge, that want to be acquired, that want to know their business valuation, like how much is their business worth. But I'll delve deeper into what we are working with Absa. So the program is called COMA, and its main aim really is to help the founders to be able to take a step back from running the day-to-day businesses. So we realized as a university through interviews and research that most of the SMEs have an issue or struggle to grow because the founder is everything. So is the marketer, is the CEO, is the COO, is the one in charge of finance. And so we realized first step is to change that mindset, is to allow them to see that the business can grow if the founder starts focusing on the strategic element and then leave the day-to-day running to someone. So perhaps a general manager or a COO or even a PA. And so what we are trying to do is to take through the SMEs 8 weeks in class on all the categories that are very important to do with founder-led SMEs. So I've just put the link of the program on the chat. So we're currently running our first cohort with SMEs that bank with Absa, and the second cohort will be as of July 18th, right? So what we do is we have 8 weeks of class, then we have another 2 weeks when we come into your business to come and see and converse with you about challenges that you face personally. And then the last week is a final presentation. Now, as you're going through the class, we encourage the discussion to start happening with the COO or the GM or the PA. So we give tasks every week, and then we ask the founder to start having those conversations with the COO or the GM. And then the end, we'll have a final presentation by the COO. Remember, our aim here is to ensure that you are able to, sorry, I'm seeing that they're saying the link is not working. Let me try again. Yeah, so we are trying to help the founders to start delegating. And we realize that's a very difficult task. Like for the people, for example, one of the persons we have in the class currently, for example, they struggle with payroll issues, right? So they say that they have to be the ones that they look at for payroll. Okay, so, and we are working with them currently to just change their mindset to be able to delegate. Already, most of the times, the SME already has capable staff. And it's just a matter of trying to empower the staff to be able to start taking over. And then during the journey, if you also realize that the staff you have may not be up to par with what you want to achieve and what your SME wants to achieve, then we can also help with staffing, because we are a university and we have a very big alumni database. We already have a big number of students. So for us, we have no challenge of even getting personnel with regards to the SME. But one thing we are realizing so far as we run the program is that it's very beneficial. I've tried to put the link again. I hope this time it works.
Edwin, there's a problem with the link. I'm also trying it It's
So
on
much.
their website. On their website. So I think you can check that and then share the link later as we progress. I've shared with you the error that we are getting. Thank you. You can proceed. You are muted again, Edwin. You're on mute.
Apologies. Apologies. Yeah, well, I can see mine. That's why I'm surprised why it's not working. Um, that's my biggest concern. But yes, so as I was concluding, before you start your training, is that the main aim really, and we may have one or two more sessions with some of our current students who will come and speak to you about what they are learning. But the main key things that we try and direct all the founders of the SMEs is first what they want to achieve, what does growth look like to them, and what stops them from achieving that growth from a personal perspective and also from the SME perspective. And then we walk them through some of the challenges that they may have. So we have faculty that looks at all the major aspects that the SMEs might be having, which is accounting and finance, which is legal as well. We have employee management, we have tax issues. We also collaborate with Absa, and Absa also take you through credit and banking, and then also they take you through investment. And then lastly, we have a session on how to leverage on the capital markets, especially the SME market within the NSE, and also how to merge or acquire other businesses as a path to growth. So that's basically it. I'll try to put the link again as the rest go on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Edwin, for that. Thank you so much for taking us through what Comma is all about. We really appreciate. So there's a problem with that link. I've also tried to get through. It's I think it's the website that has an issue. So maybe you could check on that and share with us the link that is working. I can see a lot of people are interested, but the link will not allow us through. Thank you, Edwin. So without further ado, I'll want to welcome our trainer of the day, Alex Mwai. Is the same person that trained us last week. Asante, Alex. So I don't think I need to introduce you again. You are well known to this audience. Alex is the lead trainer with World and running through the Meta program within World International, and he has been our trainer since we started this conversation for SME digital webinars 4 years back. So Alex is a friend of Absa too and supports our SMEs quite broadly. Welcome, Alex, and take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen, and glad to be walking this journey continuously with the Absa SMEs. And I'm happy to be here again to continue our training that we had last week. If I may maybe begin with a small recap and house rules so that the session can be most impactful to you. I think always good to have a pen and paper close by. It's a learning experience, but it's also a very practical learning experience that we'll actually go through some of the processes, some of the applications, and the best practice of how we use them as professionals so that you and your business can actually, and your team can actually use it as well. The recording is, the session is being recorded. So if you find this really meaningful, you can learn this and share it with your team, share it with other SMEs after we publish it, I believe, on the YouTube channel and through the SME Club that Helen runs. So this will continue to be insightful to you, and you can pause and watch and do as we were doing during the session so that it can actually be very practical. We might not have the longevity of saying, okay, I can slow down so everybody does it at the same time. But I know through the recordings and through some other materials and resources we share, you will be able to apply and use this knowledge to actually impactfully do it for your business. Absa cannot be running this for the 4th year running. Imagine Wild, Meta. They trust that the sessions are making businesses grow, and we'll see some of those examples of businesses that are growing. And we want you to be one of those partners, one of those businesses that are seeing great success from digital platforms. Finally, on Q&A, there's a tab written Q&A. If you'd like to engage with a question regarding what we're going through in the session, please put it there. Sometimes the chat has different engagements. You see Edwin is trying to share his link. We'll have different prompts for questions and feedback. So the chat might get busy and we might miss your question. So please make use of the Q&A. And there, all the questions are coming to the panelists and myself, so I can actually see them in a very structured manner and be able to answer them as we go along through the sessions. So karibuni, those are the basic ground rules. We have about till 11 together. I have 2 presentations, and today we are adding on to the knowledge we created last week. Last week, we covered, same time, Tuesday last week, we were able to cover building a good foundation. If you did miss that, don't worry, the recording will be available for you. Building a good foundation for your business by doing the right things in the application that's on our Meta platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Is it passwords? Is it then creating the page the right way? Is it having admins? And I hope by a raise of hand, how many of us were able to actually go and make some changes. So raise hand, you can see I've raised mine. By a raise of hand, so how many practically applied what we learned and know that their business is now at least more secure, more confident in its online presence. And I'd love to see some people who are impacted by that. So fantastic, I'm seeing some hands come up. So thank you for if you learned and applied. Digital is all said that it's learning and applying. If you learn and then you let it stay, by the time you go and try, you realize, oh, I forgot the steps, where were those settings? So do the lessons as soon as we learn. That week, you can take 1 or 2 hours to actually apply, because what we teach is very practical and is not a heavy duty, right? It's not making you work for 10 hours on the same thing. You can actually apply the lessons in about 2 hours or so, and you'll be able to do so. Today, we're going to cover more interesting topics on content and how to build content that acquires customers, how to build brand visibility, how to actually then lead up to strong conversations with potential customers. So looking forward to our engagement and Q&As. I'm already seeing some. Thank you for everybody who's already getting the drift of how the session is going to go today. I usually have these presentation slides that you are seeing, and it's visual. So as creators, we are visual learners, and the meta materials are also visual, as well as we use practical case studies so that you can actually see and learn and apply what we see, what we do. So that will be my presentation. I hope it's visible. Helen, just confirm to me, and then I can be on my merry way to start.
Yes, Alex, it's visible.
Fantastic. So today we're talking about awareness and raising awareness of your business, and we lead into a different conversation of creating content that also works into building more stronger awareness and pulling in your customers in. It's a very important conversation because a business that is not known or visible to potential customers lacks the opportunity of moving them through that thing we call the advertising funnel or the customer conversion funnel. I know most of us studied this science one time or the other, whatever generation you're from. We used to have a little funnel, and there used to be an exercise where you put sand, I think loam soil, clay, cotton wool, and just practically, I think it was science. I didn't do home science, so you can tell my age, but I did science to some level, so you can also tell my age. And we used to allow and pass through some water, right? So the water through sand would pass really fast, then go to maybe loam soil, then clay, and you find that it gets stuck at clay before it even gets to the cotton wool. And this was in marketing, the same funnel applies in that we try and say that a business that lacks enough that supply of water that's going through and through and through all the way to the drip, where the end where they finish the funnel is where the customer, now you have them in your hand and they've bought something from you. If you lack the funnel of mass, like water that's coming in, that drop will never happen. So we say a business must use these digital platforms to build a brand presence, brand awareness, and similar. In an example, let's use the chat for a short while to say a business that you are aware of, you've never bought, but you know about, and when you want to make a decision to buy something, you will use them. Let me start with an example. In gifts, when we think gifts, when you're thinking of a business that you can buy gifts online, who do you think of? And even though you've never even bought from them, who do you think of? What's the name? Just write for me in the chat so we can cement the importance of this awareness conversation. So the question is, if you're thinking about gifts, you might never have bought even a gift from them, but you are aware they offer gifts. And when you think of now getting a gift from a loved one, you buy from them. So Joel has written Jumia. I'm already seeing the brand I also thought about. I think I've bought a gift once from them, but many of you have mentioned it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the largest answered here, right? Is Papink. You can see on the chat. These are all, I can't have brought all these people to say Papink. They are brand aware, right? It's interesting. Let's move to a second one example. If you're thinking of traveling, where would you look for packages? You might never even have traveled, gone to Dubai or Mombasa with them, but who do you think of when you think of traveling and you know them from an online presence? Okay. So I'm seeing a few similar thing. Many people have thought of the same thing. Cementing the conversation of awareness. If your business doesn't have this level of awareness, and you know, many of you have said these brands, but you might have never even bought from them, but you're saying them, right? But some of you have, because of knowing that and even putting it on the chat, others have known and might end up buying. So the purpose of that awareness is we need to have a brand that builds that funnel of being known for something. Then customers then easily trickle in, because when people think they know you, I think that should give the premise of why this conversation is important. So today we'll talk about how to use our meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram, to raise awareness. My name remains and will remain Alex Moy during the sessions as I continue to facilitate with you. I'm the meta lead trainer with Wild, and I've been for the past 5 or so years, and I've been able to train over 5,000 of you SMEs and business owners. So no industry is too difficult to be taught digital. No industry is not being affected by digital. I've taught farmers. I have taught welders. I've taught Juakali workers. I've taught any industry that you can think of, and all of them see an opportunity for their business to go online and actually make value and keep growing there. So I'm happy to also be here with you again. For those, for the presence and to understand, Meta is the incorporation of Facebook applications together to form one suite of apps called the Metaverse, the Meta suite of apps. So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have WhatsApp, we have, you've seen our little goggles. So Meta, as compared to Facebook when we started, then has a bit more, but our terms and conditions, our privacy has always remained to be able to try and connect people together, and now businesses to their customers. What we'll cover today is that we'll look at how can we raise awareness of your business? How can you develop content consistently to build a customer base? And I'm sure many of us are interested in doing that. And how can you use, remember we talked about Meta Business Suite last week? Now we want to look at its value in curating and planning your content. Now, because we say we've seen practical businesses scale and grow because of this meta applications and their success. A business like Creator T, which is run by Betty Kishuki, who is a co-owner of it, says that Facebook has given them the platform to help connect with their target audience easily. Through just online and through Facebook and Instagram, they attribute 60% of sales from the application. I think that's phenomenal for any business. Last week, we saw a business from Nigeria, which was in packaging, that also attributed quite a huge percentage of sales, and over 50%. If a business can get even over 20% of its source of revenue from one place, you know that's a place you need to keep investing and keep growing. And that's where we want all our numbers to go. If every business could get good value from the meta applications, so that even when you're doing more sales, if you're doing networking, if you're doing exhibitions, all you're doing is adding to the pot and growing, and then Absa is here to grow with you, of course. So as well, you can see Creator T then continues to acquire customers and even increase its sales during a COVID period, which was quite interesting. Let's talk about how do we raise awareness for our businesses. And awareness comes from having content that prompts people to learn more about your products and services. This might be difficult to write on the chat because it's really like, how do you tell the story of how you came to know those brands? Obviously, you didn't come to know them because of one single flyer. You didn't come to know of them because of word of mouth. You didn't come to know them because of one single thing or just because they have a big office somewhere. It's because of having content that interacts and people are engaged and are looking to get engaged with. And by content, on our platforms, we have different opportunities to have content, in that from still content, from moving content, from to video to live. We can use different platform opportunities, and we'll share how to do this by creating posts, stories, video, and so much more. And I want to give you best practice and best understanding of how to curate, plan, and make the best content that your business can make from the level of even a beginner. We've taught this to even an old and mature crowd that have been in business maybe 30, 40 years. And you can see that they say, okay, I have a Samsung phone. What can I do with it? I receive some stock. I tell them, take a photo like this. And when you put a few, 2, 3 photos together, that is what we call collage. And they're like, okay, so it makes sense. What is its value? So as we talk about content, I want to give you very practical insights to always ask yourself, why, and then how will you create this content, and then even the if you want to continue further, you'll look at the itemization, and we'll go through and look at it. Sorry. So on our platforms, there are different versions of content you can create to build the awareness of your business. Posts are where you create content to share important updates about your business with photo and video options. In our post options, we have a wide variety of different things you can do with posts. You can take a photo from your camera, you can look from your gallery, you can add call to actions like get messages, get WhatsApp messages, add a pin location, and so much more. Now, I want us to look at posts practically and how we create them to bring the most value. And with that, I always bring a tab and I show you businesses that are actually doing it, and all of it to be always as practical as possible. So posts on Facebook and Instagram present on different places. So on Facebook, when you scroll through your feed, let me just start with the home page so that we can come to the feed. If you scroll through the home feed, what you see here are what we call posts, right? These are what we call posts. These are what people have posted, right? These are what stick in the feed of different people, and they show up as they scroll. So posts as you saw, and creating them is similarly as simple. Let me just switch to wild. I'm just switching to the admin level. Posts then appear and offer the opportunity to do all those different things, from choosing a video, live video, location, activities, feeling, and all these tools are just interesting tools to be able to create content that engages. Posts are scrollable within your feed, and what we say, comparison even with Instagram, posts feature, in the post feed. Posts, we say, are the place where a business could put its story over a long time. Mainly we'll talk about stories, and they disappear after 24 hours. Stories on both platforms are very short form content that does not give a permanent reputation to what your business does. It's good for sometimes maybe shorter highlights, but with posts, these are the things that stick around in your profile. And as people come in and engage, and why having good quality posts is important is that is the perception of what people will see as they come to scroll through briefly. Because if I'm an interested customer, we are walking through the funnel again. Maybe I've seen your post somewhere, maybe like Absa posted about their content with Wild and this webinar. And somebody and the SME owner came from from Absa and came to Wild. The thing, they'll not know the stories from yesterday or another day. What they'll come and see is these posts. So they carry a stature to a business that it should be quality over quantity. So that's the first point of view, is that with posts, we focus on trying to help businesses present at the level that, look, our business is doing something and it's doing something good, and it looks like this, like this, like this. Because the opportunity for the customer to engage is they'll scroll through a few and they'll get a perception. So quality over quantity is important, because if what's in a comparison with what you can do with a story, it has refused to show me a story. Let me just choose a story, an example. It's something that I'll click, will disappear in 24 hours. This one will go away, right? But if I visit that same profile and try to learn what they've been putting together, I'll be able to be like, oh, that's what this business is about. So that's why we say focus on quality in posts over quantity. Then a post also features a few different things. The first thing in that is that it features an image or a video or etc, right? Either on Facebook or on Instagram, you'll see they pretty much carry the same feeling and etc. So we'll have, I think, a caption, the imagery, and you can add things like hashtag. We'll continue to talk more about these ones, but I'm just sharing in terms of format what a post will have. And on both platforms have the same about features. Okay, I want to go back to the slide just to continue around learning more about the different formats. Then we'll come and collate to best practices of each. So creating a post is as simple as putting in your caption, choosing in your photo or video. And on Facebook, a post actually doesn't need to have a photo or video. It can agree to plain text, but Instagram being a visual platform, it focuses on photo and video. So a post must have those two. When we move to stories, these are shorter, immersive, full screen content that are great to engage and feature your offerings in a full screen immersive format. So on all apps, whether you're on desktop, on mobile, it will show via it's a 16:9, which is a vertical view showing people in full screen. So why it's interesting is because a lot of content these days is consumed immersively in a full screen experience, because people want to, they have a big phone, so they want to see the thing on the big phone. They disappear within 24 hours, so they're short form content. They feature a lot of interesting creative tools, including text box editors, colors, text alignments, fonts. You can see this doodles, pin locations, badges, and even the caption generators. So stories present an interesting opportunity to just visually in a very short way tell a short story about your business, ideally. I want to show us again as a story format. Let's go to our stories, and when you come to the homepage on either of the apps, you'll find stories featured at the very top. So they're performing really well because why are they interesting? They're very short form. I think most stories are will go up to, you can cut it into many pieces, but most of them are like 15-second short form content. So they're short, they're massive, they're full screen, and they are at the very top. So let me just switch back to a profile. So you can see example of friends, family who ideally then would post. You see this is Grace who has posted a story, and you see it's full screen immersive. It's short to 14 hours ago. In 10 hours, it will disappear. It's 1 hour ago, something new will come up. So it also, stories create an opportunity to kind of like form short touch points with your customers every so often, because the more they see your little story, and you see the stories are like this, you know, like you guys were mentioning travel. So every time I'm like, "Ooh, let me see what's, you know, a brand has something about travel." They don't have to post a long form video or something, but I'm like, oh, okay, this one has just posted an update. This one is just saying ticket extension. And then this one is sharing maybe an offer, something light, and you just keep afloat and in touch with your potential customers or people who follow. So they'll bring the story highlights, and you can form an opportunity to connect really well with your potential customers. Short form disappears really quickly, but available on the very top of your platform. So sometimes we found the consumption of stories might vary, that most people will jump into social if they have a very short time and attention span. They will 80% of the time go to stories first. So, and stories don't have to be a long scripted. You see, most of them don't even have text, just a graphic. Oh, top of mind, good. Okay, I remember about this. I'll remember about that webinar. Very short, immersive content. But with the posts, you can see same Grace. She still shared about in her status. She still had this, but you see this is immersive, tells me about the story. So sometimes brands have to connect on a short version and a longer version type of content with their customers if they want to stay top of mind, because awareness is also a question of, who do I remember when I think about gifts? Who do I remember? That guy has been posting some stories about travel, very interesting. I think I should just scroll through, maybe even message them and then ask them about what travel offers they can give me. So in those two formats, you've already seen that there's created an unparalleled opportunity to be simple with stories. While I'm in the business, people are visiting the shop, a customer has come and they've loaded up a little truck, and you want to take a photo with them, or they agree, or this is another shipment going to the customer all the way to Mombasa. I'm like, oh, interesting. And I will share different types of businesses, and you'll get the perspective that even your business, whether you're even in consulting like Wild or you're in agri, you just need to simplify the process of being able to be in front of your customers and build more awareness. On another format, we also have videos in different versions. We have live video, which is interesting. It presents you the opportunity to broadcast live to your followers in real time, kind of like in this webinar, we are discussing something live. Live videos are quite interesting because I've also seen different businesses do different things, because interacting real time with your customers can allow you to do very many different things, answer questions, share photo and video. And the opportunity to create it is, I think with live video, is more around planning and scheduling it and making it interesting. So in one example of application of live videos, I don't know if they still do it, but during COVID season, there was a business that was a boutique that sold really good priced clothes for ladies, for working ladies. So be like kind of like what we saw Helen wearing. She's looking super sharp, and you're like, oh. And ladies, I think like a good outfits, and they like a good sale. So what they would do is they would do online sales through live. So for example, today's like they would schedule them like on a Friday evening, where they would say on Friday evening we'll be having an online live sale on some materials ABCD ABC, and they would just hang it up and say and wait to see anybody in the comments. And funny enough, they would, at one time I joined their live because they were also a trainee and they told me about this opportunity. And I was like, one time I joined and I found 300 people, and I was like, my word, this is like starting your own Kagikomba or starting your own like auction house, and people are there and they're bidding for the clothes. And I was like, wow, interesting. So people would pay live on M-Pesa. Like, so it's this, the price is written, whoever pays first, the order is in, anybody else is refunded. Interesting. So opportunities for video are also just as creative. Live video presents different opportunities as well because you speak to your customers in real time. Now, I want to share different versions and now come to the platform and really go into all the different types of content versions we have and what benefit and when, why, and any questions you might have really around content. So in the Q&A, I want you to flood anything you're thinking about, how should I do a good reel? So we're also moving after this, after knowing the formats, we're also moving to best practices. So you can ask a question. You might think I've missed it, but I've not. There's the next slide that I'm going to present on that will cover that. But let me walk you through all the different content formats on all platforms. I'll start with Facebook. I think it's been there longer. Many people say it's now for older people. I still give it reputation because it still has the most users in our country, in the world. And it still gives you opportunities because here people have moved away from, it's not, I feel like with Instagram, it's very fast moving, and that's globally. Like, it's like trying to keep up with creators, influencers. You're watching like some guys have done the coolest videos in the world, and you're like, wow, will my business ever be able to do this? So me, after watching all those videos, and I'm a creative, I log back into Facebook and I find my friend's Grace doing some great webinars. I'm like, good to know about what's happening in. So it's really authentic about the connections that happen on Facebook. It's not as fast paced, but we'll talk about even being fast paced there on Instagram. So on Facebook, in our different versions, there's posts that you've seen that you can use a static graphic, and I will try and have and see. Okay, one static graphic, let me just open Wild, I'm sure I'll find one, is like a static graphic with one imagery or one image, is like that. Post, caption, static graphic. That's one of the versions you can create. A business should create still static graphics, but if it's not a product that needs much visual representation, right? Like, this is a photo of an entrepreneur, just like you, photo, and they've just mentioned about what, like it's a little testimonial, for example. Doesn't need to watch the guy doing a somersault or like his journey. I'm sure a more comprehensive, longer testimony, which is like a video, can happen, but still graphics or still posts still play an important part in a business, because even if video is on the rise, static posts still need attention. And they take the attention because the image represents everything, right? I tell the story once. I don't need to be more creative. I don't need to grab your attention within the first 6 seconds of your concentration span. You've already seen the image, you already know what it's about. We're done, right? I'll share a different example. In an example, if you're celebrating Labor Day, celebrate them. Tell them, yeah, we honor you. The message is in the graphic. It's over. I don't need to listen to anything. So they still do engage with people from a different type of perspective. So I hope that's giving you some insight. So on Facebook, we have still graphic. We have the same on Instagram. We have on Facebook what we call either gallery or carousel. So in an example here, is 2 images, so I can scroll through, right? So sometimes there's a carousel format and a gallery-like format. So let me see one that has many pictures. Oh, I saw that example. So if we have like this one, this is a gallery representation. So sometimes it's like a photo dump. If you're in a product business, or if you're kind of like, maybe it's just the same photo, I try to choose different types of businesses. So this is a business that then does clothing. So it's maybe the same outfit in different, like, okay, let me see the front, the back, the etc. It's just giving me more perspective. Oh, look at the details, right? So a gallery or a carousel format tries to allow you to use multi-imagery, and these allow up to 10 images on Instagram. And on Facebook, I think it's unlimited. Like, you can put however many images. You can start an album even, because Facebook ideally even still has that album setup. But on Instagram, up to 10 photos. Again, still imagery still plays an important role. This is the best way to obviously look at this dress. I don't need to pause. I just click one. Okay, that's front view. Oh, that's the side view. I like the little collar thing, or whatever they call it, the cuffling. And then that's the back view. Good, nice dress. I understand. I need to buy it. Best representation is when you're telling a sequence of stories through photos, right? So we've done two, still and gallery or carousel. Now everybody's interested in video. Video has in still, even in posts or in stories or in video is available. So there's long form video, which is anything above, I think now 1 minute, still applicable on the platforms. You can post video. I think I'll just choose the most practical perspective. I know I'll have a long video here. This is 3 minutes, right? I hope you can all see. Just mute it. So it's a 3-minute video, right? Long form video still exists. Long form video is being consumed less these days because of the concentration span of the customer, or the average user of the internet now, which is 6 seconds. Yes, so you now, even with long form video, your caption or the purpose of the video should be clear why I should watch it within the first 6 seconds. And it won't attract everybody, and it won't make it like you get everybody to watch it. But long form video, and we'll talk about it as we create content, still plays an important role. Absa, when we were starting the training, showed us a testimonial of such great entrepreneurs who've been able to grow through their products. So imagine trying to do a story with that, 30 seconds. Me, I got a loan. Get a loan from Absa. I'm like, okay, that's a bit, how will I learn the story of the entrepreneur behind this and how they ended up, So it was just short burst. Okay, is it relevant? Not really. So long form video still plays a part. What I say in the first 6 seconds, even when you're doing long form video, try to connect with them as to why they should watch it. Support that with a good caption. Again, we'll still talk about how to create captions, what are hashtags. Don't worry. I'm just trying to give you the formats that exist. Long form video still exists on both platforms. Even Instagram, people think that doesn't have long form video. I know we have a long form video that is a documentary. Let me just see if we can find it. Yeah, like this is a long form video. I think it was, I can't remember how long, but it's a sequence of questions and people are engaging and just talking about things. So long form video still exists on both platforms. Then we'll go to, okay, so long form video isn't possible on stories. Let me tell you. Stories, because it cuts it down. I found some people then use some tools to cut it down, but I'll tell you from the consumption and the truth of how we know our platform's data is consumed. Immediately I want to start to watch a long form video, and then I watch 1, 2, everybody will drop off because it's like 15 seconds, then it cuts, then it starts another 15 seconds, it cuts, and you're like, why is this content this way? So you stop watching it. So on stories, we don't have options to do long form video. We have it in the post section where you can do reels, and that's on Facebook and Instagram. Long form video is available on both platforms. Now, short form video is available to be posted as a post and as a story. This could be, if you want to stretch it, make it 30 seconds. Like okay, I don't know if I've seen everybody with a reel. Like it's okay. We saw one from. Let me just see if we can find it. If we go here, we saw, okay, this is like a short form video. It's 15 seconds or shorter. So it's very short. And if it goes really long, then it's that video and then a second part of the video that tells you sign up to this, So short form video as well exists. On stories, posts, and you can put it up. It's supposed to be burst exciting. And yeah, I think those are the main formats. Those are all the formats of content. The other ones are just text posts, which I don't think anybody, it's just a plain, you don't have an image, you just have this text. And yeah, that's pretty much all the formats of content that are available. Now, as we wrap up so that I can go into best practices of creating them, knowing them, how to use them, planning for them, I'll go back to our Meta Business Suite reminder that to create and share any of this content, you can actually do it using our Meta Business Suite app. Remember, you can download it on Android, on iOS, you can use it on browser, so that if I've created and I need to post a gallery, short form content, video, long form, you can use the app from anywhere and it can work on your mobile or on your desktop. And you can, at one time I remember people were saying, okay, to upload content on Instagram, I need to have the Instagram app installed because it's refusing to do from my browser. These days, using Meta Business Suite, you can do it from any application. The way you get your photos, maybe from a photographer on email and you download on your laptop, you don't have to WhatsApp yourself, then download them on whatever. Guys, we have the Meta Business Suite app. It's supposed to save you time from doing that. And you can share the posts, you can preview, you can schedule them. So even if you have all the photos today, tomorrow you want to post a still graphic, the Labor Day is tomorrow. Imagine now, if you didn't have Meta Business Suite, it means you would have to work tomorrow. At Meta, we don't want you to work on public holidays. We want you to just schedule your content, and your Happy Madaraka Day or Labor Day, will be already ready tomorrow to post at 8 a.m. if you need it to go out at 8 a.m. before everybody now posts theirs and yours becomes irrelevant. So our key takeaways from that is you can use posts, stories, live video, short form video, long form video to increase awareness of your business. Now we are coming to shape up and tell you about how to create it in the best way possible that will get your attention span, that will be the best caption, how the hashtag will help and all that. However, now you know the formats. You then know you need to post it and create this content consistently to make your business recognizable. I have a small poll that I want us to play before I give you the best practices of how to, or what these formats to create. And then you can use Meta Business Suite to help you save time and schedule posts. So let me share a poll and see how many of us let me use this one. If you can see the poll loading. Yeah. So just the question is, how often do you post content on your page? And there's some different poll options. And I want to wrap up this session because you know the formats. I want to give you the whys or the how many times, I guess. So I'm seeing, it's a good race between not consistently and daily. The race is going, and not consistently is currently winning with 38%. That's why you come to learn. And that's why I say every lesson we have is going to build on your foundations, that then the foundation will teach you how to then scale up and be able to get to the level of testimonial saying I get 50% of my business plus on using digital platforms. So let me see if I can get 50% of our participants to vote. I've gotten the 50%. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to vote. And those 10 are shortly about to end. And end poll. Good. So we can see, and when you say our trainings support both the existing entrepreneur who's really pushing and trying their edge on using our meta platforms to an entrepreneur who just started today. And it will be meaningful for both of you. This is what we mean. 48% of us, or 46% of us, say not consistently. Imagine skipping the presentation trying to explain to you why, how, what are the different formats of content you can actually create, and what are their purposes in your business. So all are not consistently, almost the majority would lose out on that opportunity to learn. Congratulations on daily, those who try daily, that's good. And we'll talk about now quality over quantity. You know, we've talked about it in posts. I hope we can then look at it more functionally. And then every other day, which means maybe I post today's Tuesday, then I post Thursday, then I post maybe Saturday, then I'm done for the week. Good job as well. At least once a week, keep trying. Let's move up to the every other day and maybe daily. But the true statistic of this and how the platform and the things we call the algorithm works, there's a thing called the algorithm that controls how well or how much more can you get out of our platform. And you know why it exists is the users who are coming online don't want to just jump online and be bombarded with irrelevant and unmeaningful things, so that they can engage more with content that matters to them. An algorithm exists to help them filter through content that is on the platform. So a business that is not consistent, number one, is telling the algorithm, okay, I don't know if I matter to my potential customers or to the people who follow me. So by them not being able to visibly know and see your brand, kind of like when we had the exercise of saying, well, who do you think of when you think gifts? You'll never, any of those brands you've thought of, you'll never see that they've said, okay, you will just remember us. Even if I don't post consistently, you'll remember us. Building brand awareness is work. Even Absa, leading bank. Why are they posting? Why are they creating testimonials? Safaricom, you know them. Why are they still telling you we have this product, we have this product? We already know about M-Pesa for many years. What else do they need to advertise? Nope, brand awareness is consistency. So tip number one. Tip number two, on the platform, the algorithm continues to help rank quality over quantity. So just because you post daily in a hurry and you take one picture and you post it there, no caption, no hashtag, not even a good photo or video, and then you leave it there, doesn't mean you get more opportunity than the person who's not even consistent. It will affect your business. So we say quality over quantity, especially remember the feed. You don't want to visit a brand where you're like, okay, are they, I don't know if I should buy from them. I'm worried. So quality over quantity, because then the platform will reward you by showing your content because it's much more relevant to potential customers. Every other day, okay, so if daily, let's talk about the real facts now. At least once a week is too little as well. We need to have at least 3 posts a week, because then the platform can recommend you and say, oh, this one is still trying to connect with their customers. I see they are trying here. They've put a little video. And even in those 3 posts, vary. Don't only be bashing like still graphic, still graphic, still graphic, still graphic. And then one, like you at least today do like one still graphic. Then tomorrow do a few sequence, like there's 1, 2, 3 photos together. Oh, so it's showing the front side etc of our business. So that's a different perspective. So the algorithm is like, oh, they're showing them something new. Yeah. Then the third one, maybe choose a video. And video has become the simplest to do. It doesn't need you to have a professional grade camera. Everybody with their smartphone now can point and shoot something. And we'll go into that and look at some of the best practices. So let's try thrice a week. Vary it. Even if you do 2 still posts, add a video. If you do 2 still posts, add a carousel or that gallery images. If you don't even do still post and you do 3 videos, that's also still wrong. Add a variation. 3 content pieces, but vary it. Now, whoever said daily, and what they mean by daily, the content that they're posting is statuses. You're doing the best work. because the platform is happy that you're having posts, but then you're adding a status, which is faster consumable 24-hour content when people are on a short break. If you're watching a story now, please stop and focus on the presentation. It's people consume stories much faster like this together when we're in this webinar. So you also have the opportunity to show there, and you'll have to consistently. If you can do a status daily, if you can't, try every other day, do a status. It will be meaningful. And you've seen the statuses of the businesses, random businesses we've just chosen. They don't have to be much. They don't have to be overthought. People are in your class. People are in a workshop. People are coming to buy. This is a product. It's being shipped to somewhere. Yeah, and if you have an industry that you think maybe I've not mentioned and you need some help to idealize more content, feel free to share on the chat. So with that, I'll stop and look at the questions you have, as I'm also cognizant of timing. Yeah. So let's see the questions that you have around content. All right. An attendee said they missed the first session. Good. We'll share the recording. Anne is saying, try to link first Facebook business page with WhatsApp. Okay, so that's linking platforms. Let me see if I can spare some time for that, Anne, but stay on the line. There's Joanne who's asking about ads. That's next week, guys. If you are here for ads, don't leave. Still very important conversation, because ads are actually built on good content. If you build an ad with boring content, trust me, the cost of it becomes more, the results become less. Then it's not the ad to blame, it is the content to blame. Evelyn asked, how frequent should I post to make impact? We've talked about at least thrice a week with good quality posts. Try every day if possible, even if it's one story, that's going to be good enough. Tamara asks, what content will convert potential customers? Good, Tamara, that's an excellent question. It's coming up in the next slide. Recommendations for growing based on content. Very good, David. That question is coming as well. Tamara asks about organic posts. How many times are you required? Okay, good question. So Tamara asks, then it's an ad conversation, but it's talking about a mixture of, we have content we've created and posted, what should be kept organic and what should be promoted. I think, to my point of view, a business should also promote something every week, which is the highest performing content piece. So if we then did a gallery of like that scroll of images of our products, let's promote that just to keep up with the brand visibility, to help with acquisition. To potential listeners who are on the forum and don't know about promoting or ads, it just means I have by what we've talked about, posting video, photo, by posting, what you've done is organic sharing. Organic means that I've just shared it to be seen by whoever will first engage with it, my followers, people who are already following me. And if they share it, and maybe if I use some hashtags and stuff, it might go a bit further, but it's organic. I have spent nothing to post it. All of our content actually to post is completely free. Now, sometimes you say my business needs to give it a little boost. So I'm giving it a little boost by paying something. So Tamara was asking, how many should we boost in the week? So I was just saying, best performing content, always give it some, say, oh, why are 38 people liking this and the other ones have been liked by 5, 4, 10. This one might be more enticing to the other users. Then I promote it, give it some leeway. Tamara, thank you for the great question. Steve is asking about adding an admin. Okay, Steve, through the recording of last week, if you missed it, you'll be able to find how the process. Otherwise, I think even a simple search on our Meta platform, say I want to switch and create an admin, that will be able to help you. Okay. Does the number of followers what if you don't churn out new content as fast? That's a good question from an anonymous attendee. And they ask, if I don't create new content as fast, the risk, as we've shared, is your recommendation to potential customers and to your existing followers is just going lower and lower and lower. So when you come back and try to post, you'll start from all, like, you're finding almost very few views, very few engagements. It's because you've been forgotten. And it takes a lot of rework to then come back again. So even those consistencies I was saying, don't take sporadic breaks and be like, okay, we've been consistent in May. Now I don't think I need to do much in June. That will take you back to the very bottom, worse off than where you are in May. So to our anonymous attendee, hope that helps. To start, I've struggled to link my Instagram and my Facebook. Where Manjiro, that's in the recording. Okay, I focus on organic content. Tamara, I think I answered that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that question opened another question in that now, once we are creating these different versions of content, are we just throwing them and leaving them? No, they're objective based because they haven't go out to the world and bring me something. So you should always analyze your posts every week and be like, what is the one that helped and performed best? So you can learn and create more of that in the future. And as well, you can learn and maybe boost that. So Lynette, great question. Thanks for asking that. And 2 more questions before we move to our next slide. Can content be too much? Of course, number one, for posting a video and 2 posts in the morning and evening. Lillian, again, content can be too much, yes. Imagine just logging in and every time you're finding that's like just more and more photos and videos of the same thing, especially if it's repetitive. It's not quality. It's you're like, why should I watch this? That's why people end up unfollowing. Those are also statistics you should monitor. That are people like so tired of your content that they're even unfollowing your brand? You're doing too much. But if the quality is good, there are businesses that have loads of SKUs. They have a lot of products to showcase. But if you found a nice creative way today in the morning, I shoot about my potatoes. Maybe I'm in agri, and I learn a little organic farming, everything. And there's tomatoes, there's potatoes, and you found a nice way to talk about morning. We're talking about the farm and what we've harvested, and in the evening we're thanking customers for orders. And you found a nice creative way to be creating 2 posts, and people seem to be engaging. Well and good. Otherwise, just balance a story and your organic posts, and that should do you justice. Okay, the questions have become more, which is great. I love your questions. Okay, anonymous attendee, how do you create more content if you're struggling to create? It's in the next slide. I'll teach you. Oliver is a good question, but it's really ad-based. Okay, and then Joel talks about creating content for businesses that don't have a large audience, e.g. they're limited clientele, or maybe they're B2B. We'll talk about that, Joel, in our content creation. Okay, can I improve? Finally, good. All the questions, I think some of yours that have not been answered, I will see if they're still relevant. Others are relating to other slides. I am trying to get to all the questions and feedback, and I will try and answer them accordingly just to keep with time. I'm looking to the next slide that talks about now how to create the content and make it meaningful with the best practice tips. So I'm trying to rush through to open that.
Alex, maybe before you proceed to the next slide, I think there's a question that quite relevant here. How do you ensure security on the platforms to avoid losing accounts or getting hacked?
Fantastic.
Quite a relevant question, yeah?
Indeed. Yes, we really covered the foundation elements in session 1 because of that. Because I don't want you guys to do all this hard work. Obviously, you're saying it's not the simplest thing to do. You're being told create these posts, create stories, and now you start getting 10%, 20%, 30% of your customers. And that's when usually the hackers strike. When they notice a page that's nice and growing, has a good follower base, they strike you because you had not done the foundations. And the foundations, we talked about them in depth in session 1. Yeah, I think we talked about them. Maybe the recording might help. I think in the first 30 minutes, that's what I solely focused on. It has all the tips, has the right recommendations. Even if you don't have a lot of time, that could be your homework. Those 30 minutes might save your business in the upcoming future when it's growing using the platform. So even randomly, like sometimes you lose your phone and you've forgotten and you're the admin of the page, and that's how it goes. So we're trying to avoid that, and that's why we taught that in session 1. Thanks, Helen, for highlighting that one. I'll keep eye on the questions and try to answer as many and relevant as possible. So yeah, finally, creating creativity. All of us are born with innate creativity. We have ideas. We start businesses. We know. You saw the businesses that were in the testimonial, the first one. There's a tailor. They're making really nice uniforms and fabrics, and everybody has some innate creativity, and their business has some strength that they have, and that should actually be brought forward in these applications. So we are going to teach you a bit about being able to mold creativity into your content by, number 1, creating a plan, showing you how to use that plan, and then improving your content consistently. Now, I think even in business, even when you come to Absa, they ask you, okay, you're coming and you want financing. What's your business plan, right? And when you are in school, you're being asked, what is your plan? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to study? What is the future you want to achieve, right? It's a plan. Now we come online and we also ask the same questions, that a business should actually have a clear marketing goal, right? I wonder in the chat, do you have that clear marketing goal? Maybe you can write it to me really quickly. Maybe you say our business wants to reach 1,000 new customers. Maybe that's your clear marketing goal. That's your objective. So please share in the chat so we can start engaging and seeing where we actually fail, where we actually start feeling tired that our business and this Instagram and Facebook is not giving me what I desire. So Lynette, thanks for sharing, says she doesn't have a plan. So today we're going to teach you how to get started with that so we get it right. Tamara says, wants to create ideal working spaces by providing fully furnished offices and dedicated desks. That's a marketing goal, sure. They want to create ideal working spaces for you, me, and entrepreneurs, people at home. I'm working from home. I have a work desk. I have a work chair. Interesting. Thanks, Tamara, for sharing marketing goals. But a business should foundationally start there. And good, Wajiko says, well, we have a plan, but it's not quantified number of customers. So why I want to share this with you is we have to start here, then know why the activities are important. Is that a clear marketing goal is something that you tangibly can say, but then this month we worked that hard because we wanted to achieve this. And Adrian here is an example. Adrian wants to aim to get an average of 50 online orders per day in the next 3 months. So Adrian knows, even if I'm being told to create a reel, even if I'm going to promote, even if I'm going to create a still post or learn this take this training from Absa and rewatch the recording and try, it's because I really want to achieve something that is specific, something that's measurable, that's achievable, that's relevant, and it's timely or time-bound. And a clear marketing goal helps us know that and we can compare from it. If it's a SMART goal, are the fruits of all this labor I'm doing, are they tangible already? If I post 12 posts in the month and I've posted maybe like 50 statuses, Have those gotten me at least 20 inquiries? Then if they got me 20, I'm like, yay, next month, can they get me 30 inquiries? And we are setting smart goals like that, because then you can taste the fruit of the work you'll put in. So the first thing is always to create a smart, tangible goal. Adrian here has a good example. If Tamara had the furniture one, is to say, I want to get at least every month, we want to get 100 office or homeowners to ask us about furnishing their homes or their offices. That's a good goal. It's a hard goal. Tamara knows now what's the level of work. We might need to take testimonial videos of 2 customers we've created workspaces for. We might want to show our range of both affordable to most premium products. Every 2 days, we have to show what is the product line we have. So you are seeing, because they have a smart goal, it becomes so easy to translate. I've never even sold furniture, but you see in Tamara's business, I'm already starting to feel like I'm having a connection with what she needs to say in order to do and do and do and do continuously. So it all starts with setting that goal. And today your homework is go and start this process, because without this process, the content will be difficult. You set a smart marketing goal. You come here and then you say, now based on our brand, we are really, what is our, I loved her. It was Tamara's example was, and I'll look at one more, 2 more, was a good look and voice. It was not a clear goal because it was not quantified in numbers, but it says, we want to create like my authenticness. And that's, you see, even her first answer, it's so authentic that they just want to provide and create for you an ideal working space, right? I want to create for you, and that's my voice. So everything is, because now you have an ideal working space, what are you able to do? Webinars with Absa while you're working from home. You're able to work with your team well enough. So you see the voice is already coming, that this brand is a warm brand that really wants to make us create a good working space. So if I'm thinking like, okay, what am I thinking for working space? I'm thinking Tamara's brand. All right, let me take one more example. What business is goal? Okay, Brenda has an interesting one. They want to retain their customers and be in a position to consistently supply them with their agri products, which are eggs, chickens, chicks. Fantastic. And birds for meat on a weekly basis. So Brenda can then say, I want to, if I already have, and businesses have different goals, by the way. Businesses can have, actually in marketing, we say we have 3 top, like an objective of marketing is, number 1, we want to acquire a customer. Number 2, we want to retain our customers. And number 3, we want to build our brand, brand visibility, or, etc. So, or our brand position. So if we are known, if we're continuing to be known as the EAT farm or chicken product supplier in the market, so you're building brand position. So that's just an example, right? So Brenda has been able to establish, but she can then put the smart goal together, then come and say what is authentically, and be consistent with that authenticity and images and visual. Now, because you have those 2 as the premise, you come to the third thing and say, content is not easy to create. Actually, let me run a final poll we have here, where we say, I have another interesting poll. And I say, how much time a week do you think you spend on planning, creating, and deploying your content on your pages? Especially those who say daily, So how much time a week do you spend on planning, creating, and deploying the content on your pages? So if Tamara has some furniture stuff and she's been putting up content and etc., let's see that race also happen. Some polls, I'm again looking forward to seeing at least 50% of us vote. And that's quite a huge number. We are over 150 people in the webinar. So congratulations for attending and the thirst for knowledge, and thanks for Absa for facilitating. and bringing the different entrepreneurs into the room. All of you can strive and grow. There's enough Kenyans to give us all business. So far, almost 50%, come on. We're saying there's, okay, 46% of us are saying less than 2 hours per week. Okay, but I want you to see, so that you see other businesses, and I'm assuming maybe those are some of the ones who are saying, okay, I didn't really post anything for a long time. But we can see 20% are even saying they spend more than 2 hours in a day. Can you imagine? Out of 24 hours, maybe 8 hours you're sleeping, 16 hours left. Maybe if you work and you commute, maybe you spend 2 hours in a commute, maybe you're left with a good 8 plus 10. Then you also spend maybe about 6 or 5 hours with family, so 15. So you're with your 8 or 7 hour work week, 8 or 7 hour work day. There are businesses that are spending, and 18% more than 2 hours of that creating just content. It's difficult. It's difficult, guys. More than 5 hours a week also exists with 15%, 2 to 5 hours per week, 25%. But I'll end that poll there. But it just goes to show now why this process is so important. And for those spending more than 2 hours a day, I want to simplify it for you. For those spending more than 5 hours a week, maybe you're somewhere, but also how can we simplify it for you? Those in the 2 to 5 hours per week, you're in the sweet spot, but I hope you're spending them most efficiently. But because of this training, you will be, because you want to create them efficiently. You want to use them efficiently. So if we go to establishing, then creating the schedule, what it means is that it allows us to think through and plan ahead, because all these things, you know, your Facebook is going to be there tomorrow, the day after that, next week, next month, you know, right? Your business has a going concern as well. You want it to be there tomorrow, the other day, and etc. And you know you'll need content. So is there anything better than knowing the goal that you have, creating a voice, and then knowing that I can actually create ahead of that time, so that I actually spend only 2 hours to pre-create for the next week? How many, by raise of hand, are using anything like this, a schedule? A schedule? How many are using a schedule by raise of hand? You're pre-planning your content. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, okay, some few attendees. Well, if this is an opportunity for you, you can and we can start from very simple. We talked about having at least 3 posts a week, right? Here is an example. You can have next week's ready by Friday, so that by even Friday, you schedule. Once you've created them, you know the photo, you know the video, you just schedule. Well, how many hours will you spend next week? Again, another 2 hours to create for the other week. But you won't be waking up and running to your phone. As an entrepreneur I trained, and she told me she used to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to create content, to just collate the caption. You know, it's not easy to think about this thing. So let me now give the context. You know that you can pre-plan, and we'll start with 1 week. Best advice is usually 2 weeks. If you're really good, you can go for 4 weeks. Okay? 1 week, because we're all learning and beginning. Think of next week. If we were planning for this week, at least one of the days, you know, there's Labor Day. You have to tell your team, you know, and celebrate the labor and etc. So you know you need a post around that. Maybe you need a sale post, and then you need another post. You've already figured out the 3, because what you need is to know the date that you're posting for, the theme. Themes are very important, and we say think of the themes way in advance, so that you have many themes. If you're able to write, say, 5 to 10 themes for your business, and themes, you can see here, example is a promotion. I want to sell one of the products. It's not been moving so much. I want to promote it and make sure people know it's on sale. You're done. Another theme is showing behind the scenes. Maybe you're receiving stock. Maybe you're in, maybe consulting people. You're showing people you're together in training. It's behind the scenes. It's etc, etc. It could be new product. It could be, what other ones? Customer testimonial, customer review. It could be a product spotlight. It could be, you can make 10 themes. And if you need help with this, just even Google content themes for my business in hospitality, in restaurant, in consulting. You will just find some guys have put together a nice list that gives you some ideas that can help you, because once you know a theme and you can spread, because again, content for quality is not repeating the same thing over and over again. It's today saying you have this, tomorrow saying you have that. Today you're saying this, and you're building a connection and community with your audience, because they are finding it enjoyable and enticing, right? So you're seeing different themes, and I'll show you practically. With that point of view, once you're done with the theme, you come and say, I need a format. Do I need a mix of photos or videos? Do I need a still content? Do I need a reel? And you know, because then once you know I want to run a promo, I know I can create a video for it. And you can even guide. And I want to go more a bit into this guide of the visual, because sometimes we work as teams to create this. You might be a very good at writing. So in teams, we call them copywriters. You know, you have the best caption thought. I have this jacket, very good Ankara fabric, excellent as a gift for men. You have really the words, you know. Some of us have the words. Some of us have the visual. In a team, and it's very encourageable to engage holistically as a team. Even if an SME is just starting, maybe you're alone, maybe you can ask your customer, they're part of your team. Take a photo once you've bought a product from me, just put it in your house and just send me that photo. I would love it. You are using your customer as a team member, right? So you can then think about even the visual and guide it, and you can have the caption and the hashtag. A hashtag, now to think and wrap it up, is trying to use words that people would search for. Remember when we say gifts, what do you think of when you're thinking about gifts? Maybe if I didn't know that brand that we were talking about earlier, I would write gift store Nairobi, gift store Kenya, gifts. Hashtags are just using words that customers would use to search for you in order to find yourself or make yourself more visible to them, or appear more to them. So that's what a hashtag would be. And even if we're saying I mentioned maybe a customer has bought. So I want us to look at that practically, together with what are other ideas in terms of video that we can do. So creating a schedule. You can see even Wild itself in an example. Consulting firm, what do? They have the post. This is for May. Oh, look, there is already a quote or motivation, maybe tip. They're selling and showcasing this. They have the copy. They have blah, 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 blah. And this is consulting, guys. So even if your business can then do the same, have a simple Excel document, you can take a screenshot of the one we shared, or you can even just create those formats. I'm happy to, you'll see it in the recording. You can come and pause and look at it and figure that out so that you can plan your content. You see, they've planned their content since January of this year. You can always plan 1 month ahead. Let's start with 1 week if you've never been planning, 2 weeks if you've been planning, to iterate and improve. And what that helps with is, now because you have these one as posts, you've worked on the quality. Now, things as they happen, like maybe those ones then happen, you can post them on the stories. You see, it becomes so simple. And in the end, you cut down the time you use. Now, also videos or photos need some level of direction. And sometimes what we say is we research. Actually, let me start with this one. We research and aspire. Instagram gives you the opportunity to do this. Is that I think all of you know this. You can use and save any post, right? If I find this interesting, I can use this little button and say, this is an idea. I love it. Or this one. Wow, this is so cool. I like the way they've put this guy in front of the washing machine. Okay, cool. Let me save it. Because you can create what we call a saved board, which can help give people your vision. So if you're working even with a photographer, so I'll go to more, I'll go to my saved boards, and I'll find maybe, for example, I want to use the butchery. I want my photographer to have the same, or to have a lot of ideas, or we are creating a lot of ideas. So these are my butchery. Okay, this is just a photo of a steak. I wanted to have these 2 rosemaries, and we'll need, so you see, it's already giving everybody the ideology of even the needs that are going to be there. Okay, then now what about, we will take some photo of our butcher and he's holding a big steak, and even maybe a video or something. Or this one is a multiple, it can take this type of and type it. And you can make these and be able to use them to guide, if we're saying we want to shoot a video like this one, then you're like, whoa, this is how we've saved it and we can follow this process. Isn't that cool? So you can use it, we call it saving, and you can create what we call like mood boards. So what is your concepts? And you put them together so that somebody can learn. Now with those concepts, you can say, I have my nice iPhone, I have my nice Samsung, I have my nice Oppo that's taking nice photos for me. Now, what do I need to do? If I've planned that in my week, I must have a video of a product. Let me show you how simple it is, right? I've planned that I'll have a video of one of our clothes, and the person, okay, there's a longer one, blah, blah, blah. Just choose a shorter one. Yeah, we'll have a person walking in one of our clothes, and they'll just walk closer to the camera, they'll do a little turn, and they'll walk away. So you can see from top to bottom, this is a nice fabric, blah, 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 blah. And ideally, we usually say, if you can agree that we'll do 10 videos, and this is an interview. Oh, this is an interview, and we need the exterior, we need the front, back, and it's something just creating like a list. So it's all about planning, guys. I mean, if we get 2 hours with the phone and we know we can change our outfit, we can do this, and they can walk, and these are the things we need to do, and you make a little checklist. And you say, that is a good interview, this is the video that will come out. This is an example of the video. So we call this like a short list. So kind of like the one you are doing for your calendar. Then when you say you need a video, you can guide it with the mood board process or the shortlist process. So this you can also Google and just be like, I'm looking for an example of how to do a few shots, a short list, and it will give you an example. So, and you can even list down, you see this is equipment, but you can list down, maybe for this shot, for this video, we will need the lady to have the dress. We'll also need her to carry a little umbrella because it's raining, because now we are advertising these cool gumboots. I don't know. So practically, you can see even how planning goes a long way to be able to help you curate good content, because we are walking, again, the journey of quality as compared to quantity. Once you have that process well and set, let me tell you, you're done. All you then have to do is move to posting it. And we've already gone through this. So the 3 key pillars of what you need to do will be, number 1, you have to have the plan. And the plan is based on the marketing goal. That marketing goal has to be smart and say, why should I do this? I need 20 leads weekly. I need 20 customer inquiries. I need, in the end of the month, to have gotten at least 100,000 worth of sales from our online channels. Those are all goals. And you need then say, these tactics, this content, this advertisement that I'm doing is all geared towards helping that. So once you have the goal, you then create the voice, create the calendar, create the posts, create the videos, and pretty much in the end, you'll have all the pieces to be able to now go to market really effectively. And what we say with best way to improve your content is, number 1, with videos, make your brand recognizable. Even if you're doing short form, I remember I told you, entice people in the first 6 seconds, but at the end, you can add your logo. You can add a watermark, right? So that people don't also download your photo. And all these tools, I think on Instagram, you can use to add your logo, to add a placeholder, and to add even your outro, to do edits together. So your brand can be recognizable. Get people's attention early, 6 seconds in. Highlight your product or service, and use the creative apps that we have to create nice videos. And also, yes, this is a big thing. Videos that work with sound off. These days we do captions. These days we do, even video off, knowing that I'm in the office. I don't want to make a lot of noise. I'm just watching your video. I'll give an example. Let me now show you a good video and how it engages. A practical example, and my Instagram screen has disappeared. Okay, there you go. And I come to here. And when we talk about good video, you can see, and you see this, I'll show you one that's created via phone so that we don't say we're not able to. Grab your attention early. And this is an example. In 6 seconds, I'm already wanting to see. This is a day of a life of a dog. Okay. Let me watch. And I'm like, okay, those first 6 seconds have already gotten me invested. And then they're telling me the little story. No sound. We already are watching and listening. Check out the neighborhood. So what is the dog doing? Barks. Okay. Oh, and that's what they're doing. They're going for a walk. And then we go have a bathroom break. Oh, okay. Literally, it's a phone, but even this one, you can imagine that they knew. I'll stop it here again. Okay, now let it continue. To be able to shoot this content, they knew I need to have the dog, need to be able to have a bucket that it drinks water from, have the leash, but it's telling the story. So it could say that you'll get all your toys, snacks, etc. So you're putting in your product in there and telling the story. Maybe you thought it was difficult. Let's look at a reel. Let's see about getting attention early. Our last one for demo purposes. And I think this one is interesting. So, okay, now this is not built for audio first, but gets there, shows you it's getting delivered. Maybe they'll do an outfit change, A, B, C, D, and they're showing you the product. But ideally, you're creating shorter format video that's enticing and engaging. Very simple. You can still do it with a phone, with a professional camera, but the quality is really related to how well it's planned for and what the purpose of the video will be. To create good eye-catching images, always have a good focal point. Every camera these days is like showing you the little circle. So click that circle and say, maybe this is the thing I wanted to focus on. Good colors, different angles and perspectives. And remember, when you're researching, when you see others have good photo, video, you save it, and then you say, I want to create a photo like this for our business. You, with trial and practice, you'll see, oh, this one they shot from an angle that's more downward, upward, hence I shoot the same, and you realize, wow, yeah, put your product or service in the highlight of it. And then in your captions, get people as well interested early, keep them concise, tag people in their locations, use hashtags, which I gave you insights on, to be able to be found relevantly based on relevant searches. And then finally, content, you need to learn what it's doing, what's performing best. On our platforms, on Meta Business Suite, on Instagram, on Facebook, you can always get insights live at any time using our professional dashboard. You come and you'll see, oh, this post did the best. And you analyze and you say, why? Oh, it's a video. It was a bit more creative than I thought. It was a bit more, we pushed the limit. Or this one just went direct. Maybe it had the captions. We understand. And you could see from some of the examples I shared, some of the best practices are helping content really build engagement. And finally, if you want to continue learning more about our platform, our content creation, anything that I'm training here and much, much more, you can access a lot of learning on our Meta Blueprint platform. That's facebook.com/blueprint, available online. And like Alex, who is asleep sometimes, this one you can learn from it any day, anytime, anywhere, from your mobile phone, your laptop, and you can continue growing skills that help your business scale. And back to our Q&A section to see more of your questions before we wrap up. I will, again, just because of time, probably cushion you with a 5-minute extra. I know the questions, we anticipate them, but we never know that they're going to be this many. So we had spared 10 minutes, which I think I'm right on time for, but I'm happy to take your questions. All right, so Wanjiko did ask, and I posed that question before I did, is this really requires one to hire marketing staff to maintain consistency? And when you're cognizant of businesses do different things at different stages, we say actually the best practice is a business starts with, even if it was maybe it started as a solopreneur, let them try and see and know and learn the ropes of being able to do this, because it helps you actually support even the team as it grows. You don't need like a full marketing staff to be able to do this. We've seen entrepreneurs who are selling something from a little shop and they just know it's the planning that we talked about, it's the goal, it's the intention, and they are really growing their businesses because of it. But as more staff or as the team grows, you'll find out that marketing staff really help the consistency and really help us achieve these objectives. If you also know, because if you hire somebody and you tell them, look, come here now, be doing content. If they don't have an objective, they don't have why, a SMART goal, they don't know if they can help sell more product, they can do something, but you won't get a good return on investment. So Wanjiku, thanks for your great question. Virginia asks, how do we repurpose other people's content and make it organic and safe from copyright? Wow, in a world where content is a lot and copyright, AI is really good. Even on our Meta platforms, if you copy somebody's content and edit it, say for example, I take Virginia's video and she had posted like the ladies who are wearing the dresses, and it goes like 5 seconds, and there's a clip. That's my clip for 5 seconds. The platform automatically can recognize it, and it will warn you on your page to tell you you're copywriting somebody else's content. And with, I think, 3 strikes of copyright infringement, your page can be banned. So with the world of having a smartphone, in the world of a lot of creators, young imaginators, there's no need to repurpose other people's content, unless maybe, for example, a supplier. You buy things from a supplier in Turkey, and they've already taken the photos, the videos, and they just give you just post them as is. Maybe you just add your logo at the end, or you say, get them here. That one, I know the creator mostly doesn't post it on their side. They create it for the people who buy. So I'd recommend, let's all just take on the ropes and try and create content of our own. What are some of the example of measuring performance for creating awareness? Okay. Aida is trying to understand SMART goals better, and she's asking, how can we, as a hospital, what is a SMART goal for us? Interesting that Aida, when next week as you join our session, hopefully you will, and if you don't, you'll catch a recording, but try and catch it, because you can ask me questions live there. The recording, you'll not be able to ask me questions. The hospital, I think you're building traffic, you're trying to build more awareness as well, as we talked about. More people in the area should know about the hospital. So you could look at measures like, we need to reach 50,000 people within our area with our content to show them that we are a hospital that's here and available for them. We can say, how many inquiries do we get direct from the platform? And I wish I had more time to share examples, but you can look this up. I know a hospital called Jacaranda Maternity that's really doing really well as a hospital and being able to do some, lead generation, some reach, and it's connecting with customers, and they're building community. That's, I think, one good case study I'd love you to look at as a business. So Aida, thank you for your question. What are some of the creative apps? Wow, beautiful question. You guys have the 8 questions. I'll just pop it up here really quickly. If you go to, if you're looking for Meta creative apps, Creator Studio. Is it this? Let me just try and find it. There was a mobile app suite. No, it's not that one. There was a suite of apps that we recommend. I will just find them shortly and then share with Lillian. But there are a lot of apps, including our own Instagram. Lillian, I'll try and find, I forgot the place where they're usually hosted. But we have a few different apps we recommend for different purposes, for creating photo, video, etc. And I'll just try and find that and share. Thanks for the question. Good question as well. Wow. Difference between creating content for B2B and B2C. Anonymous attendee, good question. I'd say it's the same. It's just if you know your customer and you have a goal, all of it is the same. You create content pretty much the same process. If you hire a photographer, videographer, they'll just listen to your need and say, well, you're trying to talk to a B2B or you're trying to talk to more SMEs, kind of like Absa. Take a good case study, look at Weil, look at Absa. They're ideally creating content for B2B. B2C then sometimes is wider because maybe you are just selling a dress. Pretty much anybody can buy a dress. Despite scheduling posts, how do you keep up with what's trending? That's good, Tamara. Good question. Because after scheduling posts, say we will do it the 2 weeks, it does not mean now that like the new trend will come and pass you. So when we talk about trends, sometimes there's new things, how people are shooting and recording content. So with more time, with having scheduling posts, you have more time to get involved and get more creative. You can spend like 30 minutes a day just researching, seeing, oh, these are good performing posts. Is it the music choice that they're using? If they're creating a reel, you are saving and learning from them and jumping onto that trend. And you can always adapt. If you find you had created a video and you'd already put it as a soundtrack, but there's a more trending soundtrack now, just change the soundtrack and put the more trending one. To participants as well, I know content is really important in this session of ours. And let me just put one because I didn't put any audio, but there's usually like trending audios every so often. So we'll come to another one here.
We're moving away from this. This one now is like, hey, Abby, inside a bamba, Johnny.
Okay, sorry, I think it was presenting the audio. Let me just play it again.
We are moving away from this. This one now is like, hey, Bambi, ile sasa ina bamba Johnny.
You see, like there's just different creator music that appears from time to time that's like trending audios. And I know you've seen them, like even the one for, anyway, there are a few. So sometimes we adapt content to just work and accommodate that. Okay, good question. I can see on my Facebook and choose a service area. Diana, good. When you post, you can actually use location tags to help the platform understand that, you know, I want to target more people within my area. Say, for example, I am in Limuru. So I want my content to more focused on people in Limuru. So that's like talking about a service area. Or when you add your location pin, it helps give it a perspective to the platform that if this content will be shown to other organic people in Limuru might better benefit from this content. So that's really good. Asked about connecting Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp business. We answered that in the last session. You can learn that also on our Meta Blueprint or just go to the recording previously. After how long can my business page get access to all available audio? Right now, I have limited options. Diana, this is just a setting. It used to be limited that if businesses couldn't use all, like you saw that trending audio, not all the times could you use it. Business accounts sometimes are limited to the songs because of copyright. Say I'm a business, Diana, very good question. You wonder, why can't I put who's a famous Nyashinsky's song onto our, like my video when I'm posting it? It's because from a standpoint, Meta has separated you from a creator and a business and saying, if you're going to use this soundtrack to make money, that's like copyright infringement on his song, right? So it doesn't give businesses all the opportunities to use all types of music. There's a limited library that might be copyright-free music that you can use. Also, excellent question, Diana. Thanks for asking. As we sum up and as questions, I'm seeing one or two or more have added. There's a feedback form that we'd love you to give us your feedback on. Last week, we learned that you guys wanted that the conversation start with a recap. We saw that on the feedback form because you wanted like, let me remember if I did the things that I'm meant to do. Thanks for that feedback for the participants who did. So on the chat, you'll find a feedback form. Please fill it in as we answer the last few questions. And as I also hand it back to our gracious hosts, Helen and the team at Absa. So please fill it in, give us, we still have one more session that's gonna then now cover. Remember, we've been going through a journey. We've done a good foundation. Now we know the content that will help us convert. It will help us build awareness and go through, bring our clients closer home. And then finally, how can we push that content to thousands of people at the least cost? I want you to say that by spending 500 bob, it's the best investment I've done this week. It has brought me 5 customers. That's going to be covered next week as we also look at how to integrate WhatsApp into this process. Remember, this whole time we've been looking at Facebook and Instagram. They're the tools that will suck in. Then the WhatsApp will be able to be there for you to just tell the customer, yeah, you can buy. Yeah, we can deliver. Yeah, I have a catalog. Yes, I have this. Yes, I have quick replies. I have these tools that can make me a superstar at customer service that I just keep closing customers. And people don't understand why 8 to 5, I'm just on WhatsApp and I'm getting business. That's what we'll cover next week. My last question as we close, if I didn't answer your question, I think it's either because it's a next week question or it didn't cover one of our platforms. What is the best practice on captions? Can we use the same captions across Meta or change them? And what is the length? Good question. It varies, again, based on the industry you're in. In an example like a B2B business, sometimes they have to put a more length here to give the perspective of what is this real product or something about. I think it's just the legibility. So in the first paragraph, and the best practice for caption is to ensure that the person who's reading, if it's going to go longer, is already interested and invested in going longer. First paragraph is like our 6 seconds on video. Tell the person, why should I continue reading this? And it's always like either like caption, pick a pain point, like, have you been struggling with this and this and this and this? Okay, I'm like, okay, yeah, that relates, something relatable to your audience. You know, you've been asking us about digital skills training. At Absa, we've brought in the best trainer. Oh, I'm like, okay, now I want to read more. Where will it be? Is it physical? So you see, you've already gasped their attention. Most times don't really go to past like 4 paragraphs and more. So 1, 2, yeah, and try and put that information in legible. Put some emojis. If you want to put like what you learn, for example, this webinar had a good caption. We said, you know, digital skills training for the entrepreneurs of Absa and in the future skills and blah, blah, blah. I'm already interested. The next part was, I think what you learn, it was just little check, like tick boxes. Tick, tick, tick. You learn about Meta suite of apps. You learn about advertising. You learn about content creation. And then where and where. You're like, oh, when and where. I'm like, oh, cool. I've been able to read through that whole caption and extract the most value. And that's, I think, all the time I have for today. Again, oh, good. Yeah, I think all the questions are answered, I think. Helen, I'd love to give it to you to take over and thank your participants. I'm stop even sharing my screen so you can engage. I hope that's been insightful.
Amazing. That was a great session, Alex. And thank you for your indulgence, your elaboration, and the practicality of the whole thing. I like the way you get into it with demonstrating, especially on the pages that are doing what you're teaching, so that we are able, even when we go back to our businesses, we have some references, cases that we can follow through. Amazing. So I really appreciate you, Alex, for work well done. And for our customers who have tuned in for this second part, we really appreciate you all and looking forward to having you next week during our final session, so that it will be the culmination of what we've been doing throughout the 3 weeks. So please don't miss out for the last coming on the 7th of May. We will be here same time. Alex will now be taking us through the final session. And I would like to give two businesses an opportunity to give a testimonial. And these businesses are the ones who have been joining these sessions, and they have implemented what Alex and the Meta team has been teaching us, so that we can demonstrate your businesses, and Alex can use you as a case study of what you've done and how has these supported you to bring your businesses presence on the online, and has it been beneficial? Have you grown? What has it been like for you? So hit me on my email address, the email address that I've shared, business club, that is one word, .ke@absa.africa. Two businesses only that we will pick, and also we are able to support you and also demonstrate what you've done with your businesses. So once again, thank you for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the 7th of May at the same time, 9 a.m. To our partners, Wild International, we are always appreciate you having you. Our other partner, Edwin at Strathmore University, thank you so much. I know he has already updated us that they have a technical problem with their link, their website at Strathmore, and they are trying to fix that. But whoever who is interested, I can see already emails popping on our inbox. Anyone interested with the comma program, please just send us an email, and we'll be able to register you for that, the next cohort, which will be happening on the 18th of July this year. So thank you so much. Let me post for now at this point. Looking forward to seeing you next week. With all the God blessings, see you and bye. We have a poll that has popped on our screens. Please give us your feedback so that we are able to know which kind of sessions to bring to you to support your businesses. Give us about a minute or two, indulge us with answers. Just be honest with your feedback so that we are able to put relevant webinars and sessions for you, to benefit with. So there's a poll already on our screens. Just give us that feedback. Thank you. I can see you are already on it. Thank you so much. There are only 5 questions and very brief ones. We were almost 180 for this session, so please give us your feedback. Thank you. Don't drop off before giving us this feedback. It's really important to us.
Our stories begin right here, and we never write them alone. Sometimes we write them with someone who puts our story first. Other times with someone who puts their own story first. There'll be pages we love to read again and again, and some we'll barely remember. Sometimes we feel like the hero of our story, and other times, not. There are stories of dreamers, stories of creators, stories of strivers, stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. That's why we invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters.
I started my hustling journey early 1990s, selling second-hand shoes. Then I shifted to selling yarn, then switched to uniform work, which I'm currently doing now. My name is John Joroge, Director of Kitale Wool Shop. We have a shop in Line Moja, Kitale Town, and we recently have a factory along Kitale Eldoret Road. We process various types of clothing, that is textile. We do the pullovers, we do all sorts of uniforms. Sasa wakati tumeanza factory, tukaongeza watu wafanyikazi, we had to buy few machines. So the challenge started there because, you know, with the factory, you have to source for the raw materials. At the same time, you are paying the workers. Things became harder when COVID struck. I had to look for alternatives. I thought a lot. A friend of mine who told me Absa are giving even loans without security. So I went and opened an account with Absa in 2017. And yes, they are the ones that who have saved me up to now, because, you know, paying workers at the same time you're paying electricity, it's not easy. So these days I don't have that hassle of thinking a lot, the end month is here. I don't have money because they have already sorted me with a good amount in the overdraft. I know Absa will continue journeying with me because we are planning to add more machines so that we create more employment, and I've already talked to them, and I know they will help me realize my dream fully. Working with Absa will make me see through all my plans.
Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
My names are Alex Wafulawa Mwana. I'm born in Bungoma County and I run a business. I'm involved in a supermarket business. I also have a wholesale. I also have a soda distribution business. I had challenges in managing the business because I am a teacher. I had vowed that if my wife is working class, I'll resign to run the business. If she's not working, then I will convince her to manage the business as I continue with my teaching job. I'm looking forward to own a heavy truck to transport my goods easily from suppliers. I've had challenges like any ordinary entrepreneur. When I got interested in trucks, I was banking with another bank that financed me the first truck. Along the way, that truck was stolen, so I had to rush back to the financer. I was told this time I don't qualify. But when I approached Absa, they came in very handy and financed me the second truck, which was even having a higher capacity than the first truck. Absa has really supported me. Currently, I'm having 4 trucks. All the 4 trucks are still on loan, and I'm comfortably paying for them. It looks like a miracle to somebody if I say Absa has financed me 4 lorries, which I'm still paying, and also around 4 loans. I've been telling my fellow businessmen, young and those who are established, that Absa has served me well. I'm looking forward into a bright future because of Absa.
We see you're great. Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
My name is Dr. Vitalis Ogola. I'm a dentist in Kisumu, practicing in Royal Dental Clinic. Dentistry has not been offered in the peripheries. People have known dentistry as kung'oa meno or extracting teeth. So we wanted to offer a different narrative of preserving teeth, even in the rural areas. This year, we had one of the biggest hit on our business. We woke up one day and our clinic was burnt. And then for the first 2 days, we were wondering what can we do to bring ourselves up. So we reached out to our bank, Absa, the local office, and we were able to get a loan. It is an unsecured loan. So the beautiful thing about it was that we were able to get this loan in under 2 weeks. So it helped us really to come back on our feet. Our dream is to be able to offer quality dental care across the nation, primarily across all counties. I have faith that Absa will walk the journey with us in terms of availing the financing and enable us to expand at the rate that we can be able to cover more and more facilities.
Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.
My name is Josephine Gichana. I'm a business woman. Nafanya business yangu Kisii. Duka yangu inaitwa Jacho Farm Machinery na iko along Kisii Kisumu Highway. Sana sana mimi ni muuzaji wa posho mills na nauza sugar cane crusher, chaff cutter na choppers. Hii duka nilianza kitambo tukiwa na mzee wangu, kafanya vizuri, kaendelea vizuri, lakini wakati mzee akafika akawa mgonjwa for the whole year, sasa ikawa business imerudi chini kabisa. Nikabaki hata na engine moja. Sasa from there kapatana na watu wa bank from Absa Bank, wakakuja kwa sababu walikuwa wanajua mzee na alikuwa na account kwa hiyo bank, wakanichukua wakanipatia loan unsecured 500,000. Hii nyumba ilikuwa na deni, tulikuwa na arrears mpaka hospitali, nikalipa at least nikaanza from there. Na hiyo loan imenisaidia sana. Kitambo nilikuwa nafikiria ukichukua loan haitakusaidia, but nimekuja kujua maana ya kuchukua loan. Inaweza kukutoa mahali at least ufike pahali. Bora tu unaimanage vizuri. Kwa marafiki zangu, majirani na wale ambao hawajajiunga na Absa Bank, na waomba mjiunge na Absa Bank kwa sababu nimewajua, najua ni banki mzuri, imenisaidia kwa sababu nilianza na mashini moja na saa hizi naona nimeendelea. Absa Bank nawashukuru sana, mlinisaidia na muendelee kufanya hivyo hivyo kwa wengine.
Now let's elevate it with Absa Business Banking. Speak to us about how we can help you get it done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa.